Hello, this is Jill Slinker with the Department of Student Programs of the Indiana Association of School Principals, and this is Community Problem Solving Coach Training Part 4, the Presentation of Efforts. Indiana Future Problem Solving is a program of the Indiana Association of School Principals, Department of Student Programs. So let's talk about the presentation of efforts. We start, first of all, with the report. The report was covered in part 3 of this webinar. The report includes the problem-solving process, the outcomes, etc. All of this will be turned in before the state bowl, also known as the affiliate bowl. What you will be turning in, what you will be participating in if you are a competitive team at the state bowl is the presentation of efforts. All of your written work will have been scored and judged ahead of time, and then we will have more going on at the state bowl itself. So the presentation of effort basically takes place in 5 parts. However, Indiana, we are not requiring the media presentation for the state affiliate bowl. That will be done at the international conference should you receive an invitation to go. We will be including the addendum, which is what we call the mini scrapbook, and I'll explain that more later. The scrapbook, the display, and the interview on site at the state competition. So let's talk about the addendum and what you expect. The addendum is also known as the mini scrapbook, and it's basically a brief selection of documentation to represent highlights of the project and verify assertions that are made in the written report. So it's the best of, okay? It's maximum 6 pages, and you include things like, newspaper articles and photographs of your teams as they go through this process, photographs of your teams as they implement the process. Basically, what you're trying to do is support the claims that you are making about what your students have done, or that your students are making about what they have done, with evidence that they have followed through with it. Okay, so this is 6 pages maximum. We need to know if they're easy to follow and understand. Do they support the claims made in the written report? And have you created or have you presented these in a creative or a novel approach? Okay, they can be done on paper. They can be done with a video. You can make posters, all sorts of things that they can do. Okay, so here are some examples. These were from Project Diabetes, which we referenced the project from Singapore before. So Project Diabetes, they have included, their background. You've got a poster here, information about the project that they've made. These are posters that they made to hang up in various areas. They posted facts, fun fact about diabetes. They posted that, every week. They made an awareness video. And so, they have a link probably to where the awareness video could be found. All of those things indicate what they did. And that's 3 pages from their from their addendum. Okay, so 3-page examples from their addendum. The scrapbook itself, visual materials that show the actions and accomplishments as described in the written report. The difference here is that there's no 6-page limit, okay? So you have photographs and surveys and letters and correspondence, any brochures that they created, meeting agendas that they went through, and do they present this item in a manner that is easy to follow? So does the information provided demonstrate and expand on claims previously asserted? And did students give thought to the layout of the scrapbook? How creative is that? So, for example, this one is Project SOS, Strength Over Silence. And this was a scrapbook that they created for their team. Notice, they indicated all of their social media tags so that you could look over that. You have examples from the social media pages and, Twitter and Instagram and all of that, examples of that. They have newspaper articles that were made. They have an article that was coming out in the newspaper. They have a letter from the mayor, the head of a board. All of these things are showing what these guys have accomplished. Okay. Here are some more pages from the same scrapbook to indicate the organization of it. And yes, it was, quite an organized presentation here, but at the same time, it really shows what these guys have accomplished. Now, as I said, the media presentation is not going to be due at the Indiana conference, but if you are invited to the international conference, you will be expected to do a media presentation. Now, this showcases the intent of your project, the excitement and engagement of your students, and the community that is impacted. Now, this can be done in two ways. You can either do an audio-visual presentation of all of this in 3 to 5 minutes, or you can do a public service announcement of 45 to 90 seconds. So it has to be relevant, it has to be clear and complete, and there needs to be a call to action promoting involvement in the project in this media presentation. Okay, an example of Project Diabetes, their media presentation. I hope it'll actually go here. Aha, yes it is.
Diabetes is on the rise in Singapore, particularly type 2. Type 2 diabetes is something that can be avoided because it has a lot to do with your lifestyle. It is very important to start from young. If you are already aware, enough knowledge is given to them, then at least we will be able to make wiser choices. With anything, it's always better to start young. Prevention is always better than cure. So that's what I think.
As of 2013, 400,000 Singaporeans have been diagnosed with diabetes. Diabetes brings about not only heavy financial burden, but also denial, grief, and strained family ties. Yet, it can be prevented through a healthy lifestyle. It is the choices we make each day which make us or break us. But worry no more, for Project Diabetes is here. Given that Singapore experiences a steady increase in the number of diabetics, with 1 in 2 Singaporeans facing the risk of contracting diabetes in 2050, how might we increase the number of youths, 13 to 18-year-olds, willing to commit to healthy lifestyle changes necessary to reduce the risk of contracting type 2 diabetes in Singapore in the year 2015 and beyond? Project Diabetes has undergone a comprehensive plan of action to raise awareness to our target audience of 13 to 18-year-olds. We conducted relevant research and used a survey to gauge teens' knowledge about diabetes. The results were tabulated, and 91.4% of them were willing to take steps to combat type 2 diabetes if they knew how. Next, we made use of social media platforms to raise awareness about diabetes and to publicize our project. We tapped on the prevalence of social media among teenagers to spark interest and raise awareness on diabetes. Now, we have more than 1,000 people linked to us solely through social media. In July, we launched our first official initiative, the hashtag movement. We got teenagers to upload photographs of them being healthy with an informative caption provided by our team. They then tagged friends to do the same. It was a success, as we managed to reach out to a large number of teens. However, more had to be done to raise awareness on diabetes. We decided to begin from RGS itself to educate students on the illness. We put up informative posters all around school. They educated students on basic information on diabetes and ways to counter it. Following that, we set up a canteen booth in RGS in August. There were self-designed posters displayed, which dispelled myths about diabetes and provided tips on how to stay healthy. Students could also pledge to live healthier lifestyle. The fourth segment of our plan of action was networking, getting into contact and collaborating with organizations. The first organization we contacted was Touch Diabetes Support. TDS is a non-profit organization that reaches out to people living with diabetes and often organizes events to raise awareness on the illness. We joined in on the TDS 50-kilometer Jubilee Walk by helping out as role marshals. There, we witnessed firsthand the resilience of individuals with diabetes and the unconditional support that their family members provided them with. In October, we successfully liaised with the National Library Board. We will be displaying our self-designed posters in 21 public libraries all over Singapore. In order to raise funds for TDSH and TDS and to raise more awareness, we pushed out self-designed t-shirts and badges. They were food-themed to emphasize that healthy eating is incredibly important in diabetes prevention. We spent weeks getting quotations from multiple printing companies, collecting and collating all our orders. In addition, $500 from our merchandise sales were donated to TDSH and TDS respectively. We then collaborated with TDS to organize the annual Fly and Walk with Diabetes. This event was held on the 14th of November in 2015 in celebration of World Diabetes Day. The guest of honor was Dr. Amy Carr, the Senior Minister of State. The Singapore flag was lit up in blue, the color representing diabetes. In January this year, we carried out Fun Facts, an Instagram initiative where facts are posted daily to address misconceptions on diabetes. In February, our team created a video on diabetes, which was uploaded on YouTube, our social media pages, and blog. It was also played on our school monitors for 2 weeks. In March, we collaborated with Yakult, who sponsored 400 bottles of Yakult Ace Light, a healthier alternative to regular Yakult. These were given to students who attended the workout sessions organized by the Health Promotion Board in RGS. Receiving these healthy drinks allowed students to understand that being healthy does not mean forgoing tasty food. In May, we invited the National Kidney Foundation bus to pay our school a visit. The bus was equipped with interactive exhibits that provided information on kidney disease, its prevention, and healthy lifestyles. With all these awareness-raising efforts, we can as one get youths to be willing to commit to a healthy lifestyle and beat diabetes.
As you see, what people put together for the international conference is pretty amazing. So the display. Now, the display is pretty old school. It's a tabletop display that provides an overview of the project and evidence of project outcomes. So we're looking for relevance of the materials, community involvement, visual appeal. This is something that you are going to put together on site, not ahead of time. You can bring all of your materials to put together your display, but the display itself will be put together on site. We will provide the standing 3-part, foldable backdrop for you to make your display, and a table for you to put the display on. But what else you need to do for your display, you will have to provide for yourself. Okay, so here's some examples from various spots around the world from their community service project, their community problem-solving projects. Notice, they all have in common that we have a 3-part board. Okay, and like this is a 3-part board, but it's used kind of in the opposite way, and we've added it together. They even added a roof over here, and gave the display so that you can see what's going on. Notice, you have other things. You've got a lot of photographs, you've got a lot of color, but something to bring attention to your particular problem that you're solving. We will also have an interview during the process, and you'll be judged on your clarity of responses. How effective are you? The depth of your responses. Did you really go into the process here? And evidence of passion and project ownership. You're here to demonstrate the truly student-driven nature of this particular project. The one question that you will be asked that everyone will be asked by the judges. There are lots of other questions based on your project, but the one question that everyone is going to be asked is, which step in the problem-solving process made the biggest difference to your project and why? So this is something that you need to have your students be prepared to answer when they come to the state competition. Now, the scoring, again, you know, you're not required to have the media presentation for the state contest, but that will be worth 50 points at the IC, at the International Conference. The addendum is 45 points, the scrapbook is 50, the display is 40, and the interview is 90. So let's go over those evaluation criteria again. The last one, presentation of effort. Again, no media presentation for Indiana, but addendum, scrapbook, display, and interview, those are all graded on site at the state competition. Key with CmPS is it reinforces the why in community service. You know, the self-satisfaction that students feel by being involved in CmPS is evidence that the project was worthwhile and fulfilling, right? This is an incredible program. The completion of the CmPS project is going to remain with these students for a lifetime and serve as a foundation to enhance their adult lives. You know, we look forward to helping in any way that we can with your project. If you go on to the international site, the fpspi.org site, you can see examples in their YouTube page of community service projects. If you follow them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter, they are generally, they will promote those projects on their website. You can see what they've done. I think Giving Tuesday, they always post an article about the good community service work that the CmPS students are doing around the world. So this is a good project to see. So let's think about this. You know, in times of drastic change, it's the learners who inherit the future. The learned usually find themselves beautifully equipped to live in a world that no longer exists. You know, we want to get people to continue to be learners. So here are some resources for you. Always go to, you know, fpspi.org, the community problem solving session. They've got some ways for you to help. Take Action Tuesday on Facebook. All sorts of material for you that can help you out with these projects. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your projects.